at Nick Clark's Guitarks Live. All right. Let's go ahead and wait for some people to join. We have many guitars to look at this evening. I'm sorry, guys. I'm about 7 minutes late. I said 7:30. It's currently 7:37. Okay. Nick Clark Guitar Rock. Yes. Hello, Al. Hello. We are here at Nick Clark's Guitarks Live. Gonna look at some cool instruments tonight. Gonna play some jams. Gonna, party it up. It's Friday night. It's Friday night and I need a fight. I don't know. I don't really need a fight, if I'm being honest. I don't really need any of that. Let's start on a jam track here, just to kind of bring some people in, get people caught up with us. There is the general. We're gonna bring some people into the channel, into the show tonight, and then we will go over our plethora of different stringed instruments. I guess we'll go over this first one. It was the same one as earlier today for the people who were on today's live earlier. This is the first Charvel that I personally sought out on my own. I have somebody that is in my life that worked at, or I think still works there, I'm not sure, at Fender. And I believe there was 1 or 2 times I played a Charvel through this individual, and I remember feeling like, okay, this is definitely unique. I had played comparisons, I have played LTDs, I've played, at this point when I first started getting into the Charvel guitars. And I do remember having a moment going, wow, these are really unique. These do have a kind of, need I say, or dare I say, aura. There is something that I think the engineering team and just the people, the visionaries behind this brand have always understood that there's some tenets about the Charvel guitars that should always be appreciated. Mojo, for sure. We get mojo from guitars a lot of times because it's not just the action is right. Hey, Paul, what's up? It's that we have this has a compound radius. So up here, it's like a 12-inch radius. And as we get down here, it's 16, right? So it flattens out quite a bit. Also, the neck is not painted. It's sort of unfinished. Hey, Jace. So this for me is the biggest thing. I love an unfinished neck. I don't like paint on the backside. I don't like to feel any kind of resistance. And so a satin or unfinished neck is always going to give me kind of a little bit of what I'm looking for. Let's go ahead, and since I'm here, let's get logged into a sound. It is absolutely roasted. It's a roasted maple fretboard all the way around. And what's really cool about this guitar that I appreciate is my Vega trim. And so these don't come at all standard, and you can see that there's this gap here. I personally don't really care if it's there or not. It's just that's the room for the recessed Godot bridge that goes in here originally. Yeah, oh yeah, ammo. Yeah. Oh, that is nice dogging. So this has got the Vega trim on it. We also have some Seymour Duncan pickups. These have been changed out. A lot of times when you see this blue frost finish, you'll see them with a white pickup blend. I kind of like it with the dark pickup. It makes this one look a little bit more unique. And as a result of which, oh yeah, and also let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other features that are on this guitar. So we have a 5-way switch, right? Not a 3. This is a 5-way switch. Also here we have, so the Petrucci guitars, the Ernie balls, are often set up in a way like this, where you have a switch that's changing the wiring from a parallel to series configuration. So when I put it in this way, it puts the pickups in series, another way in parallel. And so one way has a little bit more energy, the other is a little less sustained, but a little bit more definition. Absolutely cool to have something like this in at least one of my guitars, because we get different sounds. So say if I'm running something that has a lot of gain, for example, and say I need something that'll kind of back off that energy, that gain, I can flip it into a series, and so now that channel is being a little bit more diversified between the two pickups. So say for example, I have, right now they're in parallel and not out of phase. So this for example is just the bridge pickup. Now I'm going to switch it over into series. So not as much of the sustain going through there, but I feel like there's a little bit more character. Switch it back into series. Very cool. The out of phase sound that you're talking about, so say if I take this pickup switch and I'm in the bridge now, I move it up 1. Okay, so now I'm out of phase, but within the bridge pickup section. The bridge humbucker. You know what? Let me change something here real fast. I feel like the Rebea amp actually does a better job at representing the out of phase split coil sound. So this is the bridge and the Rebea. Okay, so check this out. Now I want to put it in the out of phase. Way more character. We get the middle pickup, or the 3 position 3 on the switch, which is your 2 inner coils. Very warm sounding, out of phase, but position 4 within the neck. And then this is the whole neck. 100%. I mean, there's a lot of different characteristics and that's why I really like this guitar particularly, is because I feel like out of all of them, outside of the one we'll go over next, are the most tonally versatile of the guitars I own. You know, the 5-way selector switch, but also with the Seymour Duncan pickups, and also the Neural DSP Rebea, right? On a regular tube amp, it'd probably be even more pronounced, but that's what I like about the Neural DSP stuff, is I feel like within the digital realm, it's what represents the analog the best, that at least I've come across. It sounds how it looks. I love that. Blue sounds the best to me. Yeah. It's hard for me to disagree with that. To me, this one has I mean, and then you got the Vega trem too. So if I'm, it just very, hey, noises, right? So this is by far one of my favorites. So you got these Vega springs in the back and a 2-way position there. See how pronounced that bar is? I really love it. And I really want to work with Vega. If my audience gets a little bit bigger, Vega will endorse me, and I think that'll be really great, because then I can put these on more guitars, and maybe even ask Rob Chapman to put me in his roster, and maybe we can put some of those Vegas on here. That would be really awesome. Yeah, I mean, check it out. I mean, the bridge. I mean, don't this gap, whatever it is, what it is. But I mean, this thing is very cool, and this bar is just it has a lot of material to it, and it sticks out in a pronounced way. So it's like it's very intuitive. Roasted maple neck, as I said before. We got our standard strap. Look at that way that wood kind of flames out at the tip of the headstock there. This is a made in Mexico Charvel, so it's like, what do you know? I don't know. I would put this guitar up against almost anything out there. Truly, truly. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, the gap is fine. I had somebody on my post on Instagram where I collabed with Vega Trim. They're like, "Oh God, I could never," and I'm just like, "Okay, drama queen." No, it doesn't bother me. And what matters more, right, is just that I have. And there's nothing wrong with hardtail. One of the guitars we'll go over tonight has a hardtail on it, for sure. So we've heard this guitar a lot. Let's move on to another guitar that I have. So about 2023, about 3 years ago, I reached out to a man. I'm going to be honest, I hadn't really heard much of his discography before reaching out to him, but I saw him on a Facebook post and he was ripping. And that guy's name is Prashant Aswani. After a little bit of research, after the fact, I kind of realized that this guy is actually not only world renowned guitarist, but also has worked with many great people. Berkeley College associated, worked with Greg Howe, which obviously has led to my own reaching out to Greg Howe too. I feel like Prashant was a huge stepping stone along the way for me to, I don't know, just try to grow as a guitar player. I think some of the playing that you guys hear me nowadays doing is a result of very much of reaching out. Borb, what's up? But what was really funny is when I reached out to Prashant and we started doing the lessons, like about a week or two later, he released this, which was, Charvel released this with him. And it was such a weird coincidence because, like, I didn't really know necessarily who this guy was outside of seeing his playing on my Facebook. And then all of a sudden, this guy has also got this signature guitar that's coming out at the same time. And I really felt that that was kind of an awesome timing. Now, with this particular model, I've had some trouble with QC. I've had to get a few different models out. And this one I probably will still have to do a refret on with some stainless steels. Just because I like the taller fret wire. I feel like they really went out of their way to try to create an amazing spec guitar with this. But I wonder if at times they kind of ran against limitations within their quality control. Another story, this one I've had looked at by Billy O'Reilly, who is a guitar tech for Michael Schenker, or has been. And the reason this guitar is so unique is that this is actually technically a salute to old 60s Stratocaster specifications, but within a super strat setting. So the first thing off the bat is the Inca Silver paint, and this is nitro. So this is a very thin, pretty thin layer of nitro cellulose paint. So this is going to be more prone to cracking and relicking than other types of paints, especially like the polyurethane level stuff. I've done a bit of modification to this. You see the black springs in the back. Those are heavy duty silent springs by Futone, an amazing company. This is a Wilkinson 2-point bridge. If you notice, compared to the Vega trim, it's actually a lot smaller material, and it's a smaller arm by a lot. And another thing that makes this guitar a little challenging for tremolo use, in my opinion, is that we have the volume button that's so very close to the bridge pickup. Some people really enjoy this specification. I'm not sure that this is maybe my favorite. This is kind of why, if you guys have seen the Relic guitar that I use, it has a tone pot used only. That's a push-pull It's actually a push, and it's way down here, kind of away. But again, that's a personal preference thing. It doesn't necessarily bother me. It's just sometimes it gets in the way of my expression with the tremolo arm because of how close it is to the bridge pickup. Outside of that, though, you have these are pickups that were only made for this guitar by Fender Charvel. These are, I believe, an Alnico 3, so they're a little lesser output. However, they do have a lot more tonal characteristics, I believe, due to that specification. This pick guard is a single ply. If you look at the Yngwie Strat or some of the other Strats, these all have a 3-ply pick guard, which I think actually it kind of deadens the chambered effect that's happening here with the pick guard. Right now, this guitar is probably closer to a semi-hollow than, say, something with direct mount pickups on it. And it's because underneath here, obviously, you have your routed chamber for all the other electronics and these kind of things. But it would like to hear the pickups for sure. Okay, let's hear them. So this guitar also, just wrapping up a couple other specifications. This has got a Indian rosewood fretboard. This Indian rosewood is actually the same quality as some of the Fender Custom Shop stuff. It's actually some of the same stock used for that. And then obviously we have our Inca silver finish here. We have our locking tuners in the back. And also staggered pegs. So our 3 pegs here, those pegs are just a little bit taller than the last 3. And this is to do with edge break on the guitar. This guitar, let's listen to how it sounds with these pickups on it. That's the bridge. Position 2, split coil. Not a bone nut, actually. It's I believe it's the Graph Tech. Such a great out-of-phase tone. Right now I'm playing through the Rebea Archetype X by Neural DSP. Thank you, Beyond. So that's the out-of-phase. So here's the bridge again. Here's the out-of-phase bridge. So cool. Middle position, so we have our 2 inner coils here. Sorry. Very cool. Out of phase in the 4th position towards the neck. Yeah, this guitar is tonally one of my favorites. And this is the neck. Yeah, the neck pickup is wild. And so that's what's so, yeah, sweep it. Oh, so cool. Kind of a flat fretboard. So this is unique about this guitar. So most of the Charvels have a compound radius. This does not. This has a straight radius of 12 inches throughout. So it doesn't necessarily get flatter. I feel like it gives it more of a vintage Strat feel. I would say that of all of what I've experienced within the Made in Mexico Charvels, I believe this one to be the most close to something like you get a guitar like this because you're looking to get a Soar for half the price. I mean, that's sort of the idea. I mean, with the Wilkinson bridge, with some of these custom specs, what's really cool is that most of the dinkies go to 24. This is still only a 22 fret guitar, but it still has the shred heel contour in the back. I don't know if you can tell that, but that's so nice. It feels very good to be up here in this upper register. I love Soar. Hey, Splaz! Becky, yeah, do some Becker. That contour sells it, yeah. Oh, dude, and it feels so nice. And for being a bolt-on and just for like, I mean, look at it. I mean, that's with my hand in the contour, right? So it's just. Yeah. Please subscribe, guys, if you're enjoying the show. We have more guitars. This is the second out of 7 or 8 here. We're gonna be here for a minute, and then after we're done taking a showcase on the guitars, I'm gonna ask everybody which one they're most interested in hearing on a jam track or two before we call it. But yeah, we're not done, bro. I'm at my dad's house, but he has a gig. Yeah, you'll take that one. Yeah, the contour is so great, guys. I can't get to my SG high frets. I have to muscle it. Why is that, buddy? I mean, SGs, man. One of my favorite guitar players is Kent Crawley, and he shreds an SG. And in fact, we have an SG we're going to look at here tonight. In fact, I'm just remembering and recalling right now. It's the very first guitar that I was given at 15 years old, about 35 years ago. But anyway, so let's take one more look here at the Prashant Aswani. This is the PA-28. Definitely check this one out online. It's a cool guitar. I think I've seen some used selling nowadays. I think people are kind of maybe, I don't know. I had to put a lot of work into this, but it's absolutely worth it. And that doesn't mean that somebody else might not have a little bit better luck than I did. But this guitar is absolutely very, very cool for me. You need the right Gibson still. Yeah, Gibsons are squirrely. I've still yet to. I played maybe one Les Paul that I really am like. Oh wow, most of them I feel I'm like, I don't know. No, I feel you. Have I smashed a guitar and say no? My guitars are my babies. I could never. Would the fretboard after the nut be a 0 fret? Would the fretboard after the nut be a 0 fret? I mean, I guess you could technically call it that. If you're tabbing it, you would call it a 0 fret, right? Because you're not actually placing a finger on 1 or anything higher. So you can still technically call it a 0. No, Lord, don't smash this thing. No, I couldn't. No, listen, Jerry Cantrell is one of my greatest heroes, and he's a huge Les Paul fan. He also plays a G&L, which is kind of like a Fender. You called an LP a Lester. This guy plays guitars. Oh yeah, no, I love him. And listen, I think they're so cool. Well, I love the way a Strat looks. I'm sorry, a Lester is hard to deny. You look at some guys playing a Les Paul, you're just like, dude, that just looks righteous. Zach Wilde, all those years, bro. I used to watch him play that signature Les Paul of his and just be like, that's the coolest thing in the world. How do I feel about stainless steel frets? I think they're the best. The one gripe I have about a lot of the Charvel stuff is most of this is coming out of that factory with nickel and not necessarily very tall wire. Jim Dunlop 6100 stainless steel fret wire. Billy, he's not watching, but if Billy was watching, he'd say Jess Carr is technically better, and those are the last ones I've ordered with Jess Carr, so I guess we're gonna have to maybe go with those. Aria Pros, I need to get a hold of an Aria Pro at some point. Never have. I've heard a lot about them. Obviously, Yngwie is the man, and he thought they were cool. the bullseye through the JCM 800. And the JCM 800 with the Torres modification, you had a guy, I forgot what his first name was, but Torres modification was a kind of a similar thing to what Dave Friedman was doing with a lot of those Marshalls. He was taking them and doing different things, and some of those really iconic Zakk Wylde tones that we all know about are technically because of the Torres modifying that was happening with those JCM 800s, and as well as just the chorus and those boss pedals that were also wired through that head in a certain way. There's a guy online, I can't remember his name, but there is somebody on YouTube who absolutely explains the Zakk Wylde JCM 800 setup through the effects loop, especially with some of those pedals he's using, and it's all of the difference. Zero Fret with a roller bridge for the best non-friction setup. I've never used roller bridges, but man, if or you mean like a roller nut? Is that what you mean? Kind of like what's on the Jeff Beck Strat. I've seen them. I've heard a lot of things about them. I don't have much personal experience with them. I should. If I ever get to a point where I get a little bit more money to experiment with guitars, I wouldn't mind trying a rolling nut setup and doing a video on that. Kramer, man, Kramer's legendary. It's so weird that they were here and then they kind of disappeared, and then I guess they're kind of coming back. Am I right? The Gibson, are they releasing Kramers again? It's kind of wild. Jimi Hendrix popped out. Yeah, it was wild what people were having to do back in the 70s to modify the guitar. But I think that's what's so fun about, and I think that's why I keep coming back to the Strat, is that I feel like it's the most creatively worked with electric guitar since sustain has been introduced into the guitar world. This one isn't a traditional Strat, but Leo Fender, man, he really had a consideration for magnetic field where the pickups were concerned. The one thing I appreciate about every Strat that I've ever played is that as soon as I put it on a strap, it doesn't do this. That annoys me more than any other thing in the world, is when you get a guitar on a strap and you're constantly having to be the counterbalance for it. With a Strat, you forget that it's on you sometimes. I mean, especially if you have a really light one, which my Burl is one of those. I tried a roller nut. Installed one time. My guitar tech talked me down to a bone nut. Honestly, I think a bone nut is going to give you the most. I mean, if you're going to go ahead and be going to a luthier and putting that kind of work in, my tech, I brought this up to him. He looked at me like I was silly. I don't know. I think the what is it? The graphite stuff. What are they calling it? Tusk. I can't remember what they're calling it nowadays, but the material is not bad. Guitar materials have come a long way in general. It's sort of hard to get a bad guitar nowadays. Even the Sterling stuff from the kind of more generic brand Music Man stuff is pretty solid. All of the factories in Korea and Indonesia, Mexico, they've all gotten better. So it's not, I don't know. It's just, I think right now it's a matter of personal preference and kind of what your budget is and just what you're trying to represent. If you play a Kramer on stage, you have to dress like Kramer. Oh God, this guitar is something wild. Oh, don't even get me started. I could do Kramer playing a Kramer. The top three are Strat LP 335. 335s, man. I need to play a little bit more of that. Ted Nugent always made a 335 look really cool. Just bought a Nashville Telly 2 weeks ago. Absolutely love it. I love that for you, man. The Nashville Tellys, in fact, I need a Telly my own self. I used to have one. I got rid of it. I don't know what I was thinking. Just wasn't thinking really. I'm a kind of a SG kind of guy. Not SG, Strat. I read SG in the comments. I'm a Strat kind of guy. LOL, my SG head drive head dive is real. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, bro. You get it on a strap and it just goes, it's like, man, I'm trying to enjoy myself. I don't have a traditional Strat, but I do have a Donner Strat. I think it's cool. Donner Strats are sick, man. I mean, again, the other cool thing about the Strat is that it's it's the engineering behind it, and then Leo Fender made that available for everybody. Eddie Van Halen was the most creative guitar player. no lies here. You need a 335. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind having one. Yeah, Jimmy burned his guitars. Jimmy was he was living the young man's life. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he was 27 when he passed. So it's kind of crazy to think I'm sitting here 40, just like, give me a little bit more time. I'll change. I will make a impact on this world. Meanwhile, Jimi Hendrix just came and went. You know what I mean? And just like we're still talking about him. Amazing. Stock guitar abuse. Oh, come on, you got to talk about Donald over here, talking about guitar history. Oh, man, I love how engaged the comments are tonight, guys. So cool. The neck is the most important thing in electric guitar, I think. I think you're right. I mean, it's definitely a make or break thing, man. If you got all the right specs and you touch that neck and it feels like the most uninspiring thing you've ever touched, I mean, it's gonna make a difference. Shredded my LP earlier in D, and it was so fun. My heaviest guitar, but it's part of the charm. Yeah, that's the whole thing with Lester's, man. They have a kind of chunk with the Tune-o-matic bridge and the string through resonance and all this kind of stuff. What were the tanks that the Americans used in World War II? What is that? They're I don't know. They're just like that, man. They may not be the best made tank in the industry, but man, they're still a tank, and they just work. They just do it. We called King Eddie all day. Zach Wild, Berserker family all day. Hey Kennick, what's up? Nice to see you again. What do we got going on here? What do we got going on? Make guitar. We're gonna make the guitar. Come on, what you got to say over there? We're gonna do some guitar noises. We're going to make some Arnold noises. We're going to not feel scared. We're not going to be scared over here. We're going to have some schnitzel. And then we're going to pick up the guitar after we've washed our hands so we don't get the schnitzel grease on the fretboard. And then we're going to go wherever we want to on the fretboard. And then we're going to have our stogie wherever we want to go. And it's going to be the greatest time. Okay, I think I've caught up on the text, guys. Oh, man. I hope you enjoyed the Arnold speak. Okay, so we've looked at the Dinky. Oh, God, come on, we got the Vaughan-Ziadas. So again, one more quick look. This is the Prashant Aswani, the PA-28. You probably can't. It's all backwards, but it's the PA-28 signature Chavel. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to another one that you guys have seen. Some of you guys in the some of the regulars here in the chat. This one looks like it's been beat to hell, and that's on purpose. This guitar is the Henrik Don Hage signature Charvel again. Those who enjoy the Jimi Hendrix aesthetic will immediately notice the reversed stock, or the reversed headstock there, right? Let's see, LTD, TE is a Tele style that sounds great. LTD, you can't go wrong. Their quality control is second to none. I used to have some. I think I gave my last LTD to my son, and I think he still jams on it on occasion. It's got some cool pickups, and it's not a bad guitar. Something I think I keep coming back to the Charvels again, though, is that they are not perfect. And this can kind of work two ways against you. I mean, when you have a guitar that's intentionally perfectly imperfect, let's put it like that, and we're riding a line here, and in the roughness of that, we end up with some inspiration. And you know, a guitar like this is like, you know, we would all laugh at somebody if they bought jeans, right, that looked like this, but people would buy jeans that look like this, that are already worn in and have that feeling and have that kind of sense of, man, this is already feeling right. Is that a JB pickup? Yes, it is a JB pickup. I might steal it. I have a 97 Mirage. Oh, yeah, the Mirages are so cool. When they did that re-release of the LTD stuff, there was a blue one of those I found, and it had just a humbucker in there, and it was really, really cool. Lots of strumming space on this one. Love the neck. Yeah, this one is so cool because it's just worn in, right? This guitar feels like it's been played for hundreds of hours. And what's nice about that is like I don't feel like I'm playing something that I have to like. I don't know. Some of us are weird like that. If something's too nice, it actually takes away from. I don't know. It's like I don't want to hurt it. And you get a guitar like this, it's like you're not hurting this thing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right? Now this is the JB you're hearing. Right? Here's the Area 67, the neck pickup. So this is modeled after a 1967 Stratocaster single coil that DiMarzio has added their Area technology to that makes it noiseless. So right now, here, I'm going to turn off my noise gate. So you're hearing that, but, okay. But if you have a noise gate on, for a single coil, that's pretty good. Most single coils, especially the real authentic ones, are going to give you like a, now if I put my hands on the strings and I complete the ground, we're good. But as soon as I let my fingers off the strings, but it still has that. Right? It makes guitar noise. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the noise, man. Over the years, like when I was a young guitarist, I would hear that and go, ugh. But, you know, you get this kind of. What was I going over earlier? I'm sorry, I love that. That mixolydian kind of sound. So good. So good. Yeah. No noise gate for me. Yeah, no, I feel you, man. Like sometimes the noise makes me feel connected. Yeah, I don't know. It just makes me feel like I'm on, you know. A hot take, Squire is better than Fender for the price. It's not really a hot take. I mean, again, just like I was saying earlier, all these places with the lower price point guitars have gotten better at making them. I mean, there are some differences, but for the most part, I mean, for most people's playability, and I'm talking about 90% of people, you're probably going to be able to achieve all the things that you would want to on a Squire that you would on a traditional Fender. That said, though, I mean, I have a Fender Ultra, and I'm telling you, the Squire is not playing like that thing. I mean, the specs on it, the 10 to 14 radius, compound radius on it, the stainless frets on there, the Fender noiseless single coils, they're not quite noiseless, but they're just it's such a cool guitar. I'm just realizing now that's the one I did not take out for tonight. So I might have to walk away from the computer or the phone for a second, but it's okay. We're just getting started. I'm an Army Barracks noodler, so I have a Marshall half stack that makes no sense, but it's loud and goes wee. Amen, dude. It has a little guitar style. Yeah, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Diver down, absolutely. It's kind of, yeah, it's Eddie Van Halen tone all day. I toured with Squire Stratocaster back in the day, and it was a beast. They're really well made. They're just really well made. How Strat players feel after finding the middle pick. Nice. Oh man, so cool. So yeah, so you can see here, this is just a cool guitar. We got a JB in the bridge. We got an Area 67 in the neck. We got this really cool roasted and then also relic thing going on. A lot of times, you know, and someone pointed this out to me. What's really cool about having the Fender reverse headstock is, I don't know if I can get the whole thing in the image, but you see the distance of the string length here from the bridge has more distance to travel on the reversed headstock, so it does kind of give it a better tuning stability. On a traditional Strat head, you're not getting this. The lower string is going here to this nearest to the nut post, but on a reverse, it's actually getting this extra distance, which does make quite a difference in its stability. It's really, really cool. Ever play a Zion guitar? I haven't. I don't even know if I've heard of them. I really need to check that out. I really like that trim. This is an original Floyd Rose. This is the real deal. This isn't the 1000 series. This is the real deal Floyd Rose here. See that right there in the... and then the cover is on the back here, but similar to the other guitar, I have a two springs setup with the silent heavy-duty black futon springs, which adds a little bit of like a... So say if I get this in position, I'm kind of just jamming. Hit on that thing, and it's not doing anything, you know what I mean? It's just strong. And what's really cool about the guitar here too, this is ash wood, right? So yeah, this guitar is all mojo on this thing. Let's go to our next victim. No, it's good. No, not victim. My honey has asked for the Kelly, so we're gonna do the Kelly. This thing is a beast. Let me set this down just for a second. Let me get this other one back in a secure position. The last thing we need on Nick Clark's Guitarks Live is for one of these things to be sacrificed to the guitar gods. Now, this one here, this was the first guitar that I feel like I bought as a somewhat adult. As we mentioned, oh, it's dusty, it's dirty. I gotta clean this thing. Oh well. So this, name the guitar player this reminds you of in the comments immediately. This should come immediately to mind. Which guitarist have you seen playing this Kelly? Or something that's similar to this? And I want you to think about early 90s. I want you to think about Dave Mustaine. This isn't him though. He didn't play this guitar, but somebody that he played with did. And that guy is one of my greatest influences. Nick Menza. Close. Nick Menza was on the album that this other guitarist was on. Who was the Marty? Yeah, Marty Friedman. So Marty played, and this is why I needed this guitar, because I was like 17 years old, and I was listening to a lot of Cryptic Writings, which is an album by Megadeth. I used to know a lot of songs from that album. Unfortunately, I've forgotten most of them. But you get this kind of you know what I'm saying? If you know that song, let me know. That's not as bright as your other guitars. It's much darker. Yes. And a lot of that here is because of We have this. We have the EMG 81s. These are two 81s, and then what's more is that they've been wired for 18 volts. So normally a set of 81s like this would take one 9-volt battery. I have two 9-volt batteries hooked up into this. That doesn't necessarily mean it has like an extra juice. It actually changes its impedance to be more, I don't know, it's kind of reverse psychology, but I feel like it gives it a lot more character in the tone, where EMGs are oftentimes kind of criticized for not having too much of a big, yeah, trust, there you go, hey boy, you know what's up, I raised you right. As my son there, Julian Hooligan, saying he knew that the what the song that I was playing was. Symphony of Destruction, dude. It'll take a mortal man and put him in control. Watch him become a god. Watch people's heads roll. Just like the bye-bye girl, let rats through the streets, dance like the marionettes, swaying through the symphony of destruction. I just figured out I could do that right now with you guys. Cool. It just does. Did you just say that to me, Jace? That's one of my favorite sayings of all time from Joe Dirt. How's a rainbow made? How's Positrack on a Plymouth work? It just does. Oh, man. You guys are really my people, aren't you? Oh, I love it. I love this. Life is so cool, guys. This guitar is sick. It has all the mojo in the world. I don't play it enough. I used to have this thing tuned down to B standard. If you go on my video, on my channel here rather, and you go to my videos, some of the ways down you'll actually catch, actually no, I have a playlist. It's called Live Performances. And on that, you'll see this guitar live in action at the Marquee Theater here in Arizona. This was tuned down to B standard for a lot of years because I was very heavily influenced by the Scandinavian melodic metal scene. In Flames, Soilwork, these kind of sounds, Dark Tranquillity. Still love all those bands, really. This guitar might go back to that tuning, for all I know, just because I'm just so used to it being in that. And some of my favorite songs that I've ever created are actually written on this very one. And so, I don't know, it's got a whole mojo to it. And I put a lot of work into this. Like I said, I bought this in 2001 from Pete Punkowski, who owns Swiss Picks. If you're not familiar with his company, go check it out. But before he started Swiss Picks, I was a 16-year-old guy bugging him at his guitar store called Hole in the Wall Guitars here on 43rd Avenue and Olive in Phoenix. And this, as well as an amp that I'm sitting right next to, I have too much stuff cluttered on it, but it's a Randall Warhead combo amp. I bought both of these things from his store. And these were the things that I saved my money up for when I was working a job, because these are the things that I felt like I needed. Consequently enough, these guys have been here throughout the whole journey. I mean, all these other Charvel guitars and all this other stuff came later, but this guy has always been here. And it originally had just some Jackson whatever pickups in there. These have been switched out to authentic EMG 81s. Like I said, wired for 18 volts instead of 9 volts. This is not an original Floyd Rose. This is a licensed bridge, but it still works pretty dang well. We have our rosewood fretboard, but these inlays, the reverse shark tooth inlays, are obviously one of the most classic Jackson features. And you can see it says professional. You can't read the serial number because it's going to be reversed for you. But if we can get close enough, you see the J on there in the very front. That indicates a Japan guitar. This is made in Japan. And I think I looked up the serial number. The production date on this was, I believe, 90 or 91. So this is right. I was about 5 or 6 years old when this guitar was made and released, and it's just really, really cool. You probably can't tell with the video, but I don't know. Look how thin this neck is, guys. I mean, it's basically the most paper thin. They did this with a lot of these early guitars, these 90s guitars. A lot of Ibanez guitars from the same era, especially if they were Japanese made, had this same kind of profile. I mean, it's just literally like this. Most guitars, you have a this. This is like a this, right? So it's really cool, and you know, it just has a total sound to it. Cool. Such a cool guitar. Very dark guitar. A reverse headstock with the reverse inlays, EMGs and Floyd Rose, purple sick. Yeah, this 81 and 81. Yeah, dual 81s. That was inspired by, I believe, Kirk Hammett, as well as a lot of other guitar players in the Scandinavian scene were doing that. I want to bleed out on one of my guitars. What? No, don't do that. Zach Wild EMG. So they are kind of that way. He uses an 85. He has an 81-85 combo. These are two 81s. I believe he uses the 85 in the neck pickup. Doesn't that just give it more clean headroom? It does. It really does give it more clean headroom. You just nailed it right on the head. It's exactly what's going on. How long has it took you to get guitars? So all these guitars that I've been showing you guys have been amassed over the course of about 20 years, if not more. I would say that it really came to a problem, maybe, I would say problem, 5 years ago or so. It's when I started looking up more guitars to find. I wanted to actually start to have a collection versus just like a few that I kind of enjoyed. There's nothing wrong with, I mean, one of my favorite guitar players out there right now is Jack Gardner. I don't know if you guys noticed, he never plays a different guitar. He plays the one kind of blue top Ibanez AZ series for years now. Kiko Luero is a big proponent of the kind of guy who's saying, hey, like, you should really only kind of be playing one guitar. And I get what they mean by that, because when I switch around on these different profiles, it is always a little bit of a curve, but I enjoy that. I enjoy to be kind of like, and I feel like in the different specifications and in the different things is where we get the character. And that's where every guitar has a different thing. Like when I play this guitar, it makes me want to riff, you know? Have you ever heard Metallica on the banjo? Oh man, I bet that does sound so funny. Hey, Sammy, how you doing? It's not as loud as the others. You're right. It's a little more subdued. It doesn't have that kind of real bright quality that I like. I used to be called Joe Dirte was my nickname in my 20s. That's why you're my best friend now. That guitar reminds me of Michael Jordan. What? Might need new batteries. It might. You know, I don't know. It could. Might need new batteries. I don't know. In Flames. Yeah, love me some In Flames. I feel like that tone would be good for recording. Oh, yeah. No, this is one of my favorite go-tos. This is the Neural DSP Rebea plugin. So good. Guitar Noise has got a couple of emojis. They're waiting emojis. I got Viking Blood. Oh, dude. Nice. Jace, you're getting wild, buddy. Randall Dimebag, I'm from Texas. Yeah, I love me some Randall amps, man. Oh, man, Bloodbath, great death metal band. Love them. Damn, this guitar is sick. Yeah, I know it is. It absolutely is one of my favorites. Dan Swano, legendary producer of the Scandinavian world. Bro, why is Neon flirting? Well, that's my girl. That's my girlfriend. She lives with me. She's in the other room. Hey, why are you flirting? No. Hypocrisy. Love Hypocrisy. I can change this. Maybe I can do more Hypocrisy style like this. Right? How does that? How does that get? If you know that Hypocrisy song, you're my best friend forever. If you know that song, you are the big deal. That's a real deal. It is like a wizard neck. Enslaved, love them, love Enslaved. Some of my favorite black metal songs are absolutely from Enslaved. Zach Wild, indeed, 81, 85. Black Dahlia Tone, yeah, a little bit. 81, 85 set in the middle, single coil. But this duo 81, 81 is cool as hell to me, man. Yeah, I like it because say if I'm even in the neck position, that 81 still sounds good. It's fuzzy. Get out of here. It's so good. Yeah, I played a lot of guitars, and I just play my SG now because it's special. I love SGs. Tony Iommi made the SG the coolest guitar out there. Oh, I need a George Lynch tag. That's why I need Super Chat, bro. So we all pitch in, and then y'all just help me get a hold of guitars, and then I'll just do videos on the guitars that we get together. What do you say? Big mistake parents buying the kids cheap guitars. Sometimes, I mean, just parents should do their research. That's all, or reach out to somebody they know. I've had a few friends reach out to me because they're like, "Hey, man, like, I know what would be a good guitar for this price point." And that's awesome because I'm able to steer them in the right direction and get them something they'll be happy with. That guitar reminds me of Tom Kenny. Interesting. SRV #1 Clapton's Blackie, Eddie Frankenstein. Okay, yeah, naming off legendary iconic guitars. You cannot kill the metal, the metal, long live the metal. Lucille, now there's a story. That's right. BB King. Third time I'm giving you mine. The Crown rocks too. I gotta check The Crown out. Zombie movie music. Bore. So I got the angry face on there. Yeah, it's got a heavy. Is your cat like that? 100% my cat's angry. He's a nice man, but he's a little angry. Out, brother, yeah. Lucille saved BB King's life in a car wreck and saved his body from getting smashed in the car. What's funny is I knew that story. I got when I was 18 years old, and I named very funnily enough, had named my car Lucille. I don't know why. I think it was just I was being silly and just a young kid. And I remember that story around then about the Lucille thing. And that car ended up getting destroyed, but it saved my life. It was an old tank. It was a 1987 Chevy Eurosport. And when I got hit on that thing, it wasn't made of the same fiberglass that everything's made out of now. So I was able to walk away pretty much unscathed. Scary time, but funny coincidence with the name Lucille. Morgan Freeman ought to be BB King in a biography. I think that's a great idea. That's actually not a bad. I mean, I don't know. I think Morgan Freeman could play that role absolutely. I tell my mom that she should get me a Frankenstrat, and they are cheap for guitars. I mean, compared to the guitars I look at, I was looking at a Soar guitar the other day. It's $3,500. So yeah, that Frankenstrat EVH is almost 3 times as less. All right, Nick, I've had a good time. You've had a good night. You have a good night, brother. Yeah, man. Thank you. Make guitar noises, man. Thank you for stopping by. I have a few more guitars. Check out Zion Guitars. Yeah, we'll have to check those out. Let's see. Let's I have others, guys. We've been out in about 60 minutes. Let's save some for the next for the next time around. We're gonna look at one last guitar tonight, and then there's still a few more. We can do more of these. We can also do more showcasing of the sounds of these. I didn't really play any of these guitars with jam tracks or with the tones. We kind of listened to a couple of them. The last guitar we'll look at here before we call it a night and let everyone enjoy their Fridays is this number, SG. I think Guitar Noises probably just hopped off right before we showcase this guy here. Thank you, Board, man. Thank you. I'll take the $25,000 Frankenstein. Yeah, the real one. Yeah, I will take that with the Charvel neck. And that's why, and again, I don't know if you guys know that, the reason that Charvel, the brand, is even popular to begin with is because on the original Frankenstrat, it was Wayne Charvel who gave him the guitar neck that was placed on the original Frankenstrat. So that's why that name is legendary. But this last guitar we'll showcase here tonight is an Epiphone SG Junior. So I received this Christmas Day in 1999. Okay, I had hounded my parents to get me a guitar. I was interested in the Fernandez guitars back then. I loved looking at those catalogs. I don't know if you guys remember the old catalogs, the Fernandez guitars. They had the sustainer pickups and all this kind of stuff. They're really cool. I believe they were Japanese guitars as well. But I couldn't really quite get that worked out, and there was another store that was kind of close to Metro Center Mall, which was still open at the time. And they went into here and they were able to get me this guitar. Funny story, the electronics were always bad on this guitar up until I got them fixed like 2 years ago. So that way my son could actually play them. And this one I wouldn't actually even consider technically a Nick Clark's Guitark at this point, even though this was the first one I received when my son was 11 years old. After watching a few Steve Terraberry videos, he had turned to me and expressed interest in wanting to begin to learn guitar. It only seemed fitting to at the right time. It's like, this is my opportunity. Concretize this interest, and I gave him this. It felt like, and it's not the only guitar I've given him either. I think he's gotten out with a few of them. I know you're watching. You better hook it up. Get me a guitar when he's famous. He's a better musician than I am anyway, so he better be making money off this and buy me all the guitars. Anyway, that's a different story, but I just wanted to hear that. He might come in and strike me as I'm presenting this to you, but we'll get into that another time. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so this is a cool guitar. For me, it was just so well needed to be able to begin to learn all of this. You know, some of my very first guitar solos were composed on this. My very first ideas, even as a guitar player, were kind of centered around learning on that instrument. Guys, I think we've had a pretty successful guitar exhibition episode. I think this is really fun because if we can make these lives where we're just sort of talking about guitars and doing guitar things a thing, that's awesome, because that helps me to be able to share these things with brands that I really love and say, hey, why don't you hook it up? I will showcase your thing, and we can get that. It is a Julian Clark's guitar. Wow, how crazy. How is the weight of the SG Junior? And is it red on the back? Yes, it is painted on the back side. Weight is probably 7.5. It's pretty light. It's lighter than my Relic Stratocaster. So, not by much, but it's light enough. Let's see what else we got. Are those drums in the background? Yes, those are that's an E kit back there. It's a Simmons kit. I use that. We plug that through the Get Good Drums Modern and Massive Suite, and that thing just sounds insane. P90 pickup, that's right. P90 is very, very cool. anything is lighter than a Les Paul. That's right, man. Arnold has no problem with weights, though. Let me tell you, sometimes I like to take the heavy guitars and I like to lift them a lot of times. And sometimes I have a schnitzel and then I come in here and then I come and lift the guitars up and down many times until I'm exhausted, yeah, and I can't do it any longer. And then I have to put it down and then I have to start thinking about it. No, I'm just kidding. That's ridiculous, guys. Don't encourage that. Do not encourage that. Horrible. Guys, we've had a really great Nick Clark's Guitarks tonight live. Let's come back. We'll do it again. Can you guys subscribe if you're not already and this is your first time seeing me? I get on at least twice a day on my days off if I can. But at this point, for about 2 or 3 weeks now, we're getting on just about nightly, and we're on a campaign, guys. I need to grow. I went to NAMM in January. I started talking to people. I've met a lot of people. These people are absolutely interested in what I'm doing. We just have to grow the audience here, and everyone in here can help me do that. Share my channel, watch my videos, all of it. And then, or at the very least, just be here during these lives, interact, and then, yeah, just like Bob said, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying over there. Yeah, man, I feel like we're doing it, guys. I mean, I had my first guitar lesson yesterday over Zoom. I have a student who's in Montreal. I'm in Arizona, and that's so cool. Like, it's starting to happen. I was talking with Greg Howe about it today when we had a lesson over Zoom, and it's just like, I'm getting there, guys. We're doing it, and you guys are right here at the forefront of this. And I have no idea how all of this is gonna take shape, but it's going to. I promise. I'm gonna find the right musicians who want to take what this is out on the road with me, and play melodies and all these crazy techniques for you guys live, and just kind of, man, the first night we can do a Nick Clark's Guitarks, but at a venue where you're at. I'm down. It's just, yeah, man, right place, right time, and just the fact that 11 people are watching this. You guys, thank you. It means the world to me. And let's just get to work. Let's just get to work and make this happen. And I'm going to take you all along with me, and we're all going to have a great adventure. And I don't know, just try to touch as many lives as we can with music as possible. That's what it's all about, man. God does provide. Absolutely. Barb, you're so great. Thank you. You're good. Thank you. First time stuff this was entered. Dude, thank you, man. Thank you for subscribing. We're just getting started. Do you know what snow is? No, we don't. In Arizona, we do not know what snow is. It's the very foreign substance. About a Les Paul Classic 2020 ebony push-pull pots. Sling neck is awesome. Pickups hotter in a little bit. Different tones. Add a phase. Dude, that sounds like I want to play that Les Paul, man. I'm coming over. Slim neck. That's the best. That's the Les Paul that we need, is a slim neck. No, we don't know what snow is over here. It's 90 today in Arizona, guys. I gotta get out of here. I need some snow. You guys hate snow? Send it over here. We'll deal with it. Just send it on down. All right, guys. I'm gonna hop off. Man, such a clutch night tonight. This was really fun. I can't wait to do this with who knows what. We can do this with the guitars. We can do this with the plugins. We can do this with the HX Stomp. We can do this with the Quad Cortex. We can do this with who knows. It's just, I think what matters here is just that we're here, and we're having fun, and we're doing something that we're all interested and engaged in, and that's just celebrating the awesomeness that is guitars. On that note, man, have the best night. We're gonna see you guys in the morning. It's 8:46 p.m. where I am. About 9:30 tomorrow morning, maybe a little earlier, depending on if I'm trying to hit my Tai Chi class up or not. We're gonna be on. So look for me around 9 in the morning, Mountain Standard Time, and we'll get back on here and we'll do some shred. Very, very cool. Don't be an American. Come on, don't be an American idiot. Yeah. Man, you guys are the best. We'll see you guys in the morning. Rest well. Canadian snow is half my life. Listen, I'm not mad about that. I mean, I hope you're not mad about that. The desert's great, but after so many years in the desert with this sun and this heat and the dryness and the plants that just have nothing. Anyway, I'm getting lost. Have a great night, guys.